Hello viewers, and welcome back again to Learn with Your Brains. And today is going to be a special day because we are getting into a deep analysis, and the episode is becoming more and more interesting. And today what we're going to do is so simple. We are going to learn our first patching for the day. We are going to learn how to patch a program. I know this is what people have been waiting for the whole series, from introduction, setting up, debugger, stepping to code, breakpoint, reversing a jump, and now we are about to learn how to patch a program. That's our 7th lesson. So without wasting my time, let's get into the video or the tutorial. Okay, so perfect. We are here in our Windows 7 environment, and we are still using our command line interface program or software or application, and we are going to patch this program today. So just follow the simple steps. I hope by now you know what you call breakpoint calls. That is what we are going to use in patching this program. So without wasting much of our time, let's get to the SDBG64, work together so that I'll be able to know all the process. But in our previous tutorial, I show you something using the 0 flags in the registry so that we can modify some jumps, so that when a jump is taken, we can just modify for it not to be taken. But today what we are going to do is we are going to patch by using this method, which is called NOP instruction. The NOP means no operational instruction. That is the method we are going to use to patch this program. So let's go back to our Windows 7 system, and let me open this application. As I told you, it's always in this Mexican folder. Just drag it and open it into the SDB64 application. Let's see what happened. Perfect. The program has started to run. Let me try to expand this so you see something for yourself. Okay, it started nicely. So let me drag this to the left corner here. Let me use this one. Okay. The machine is looking too slow. A lot of things are running. Pardon for that. Everything will be okay. Let me bring this here. Perfect. So now I think we're in the SDBG64. Let me try to expand it a bit. Perfect. Now you can see what is happening here. Let me expand the size. So perfect. So as I told you, the first thing is when you open, you run into our user code or the application itself. So let's run to the application itself. So you're in the application, come to the entry point, which is here. We are still in the entry point. So we just move down. Now in previous we set a breakpoint here. So as you can see, let me go up, which was this information. And what we did is when we set a breakpoint here, let me run again, it will bring us to the breakpoint. Perfect. Now we are at the breakpoint, and you could see there was a red line here, which means this is going to be a jump. This is a conditional jump. It's going to jump to this, print out the information, try harder. And what we did was we modified the registry, which was 0 flag, so that this will not jump. You're able to see the hidden information to be printed on the screen here. So what we did was we just double click here, and now it was gone. So when you press F8, step over to call another function, step over again, and perfect. We had what? Our flag. This was the security code or the phrase which was hidden behind the application. So this is what we had in our previous tutorial. But the issue was that anytime you toggle this application and restart, it changes from 0 and come back to 1. And that is what we want to do. Because in patching a program, you can't just make it always, anytime you run a program, it will try to come back to its previous session. All we need to do is to make sure it stays permanent. So to stay permanent, that is where we bring the no operational instruction. We modify the jump where it's going to jump, that was here. That's why we set the breakpoint. That is where we are going to modify so that this will not jump. As here, like always, we need to come and modify the 0 file from 1 to 0. As I told you, in binaries, 1 is what? True, and 0 is false. So for us to modify this to 0, this will change to what? Gray, as usual, as you can see here, so that to be able to print this. So you see, just look here, if the jump is taken as shown here, because it's changing to red. But the moment I double click on the 0 flag, 1 to 0, it will change to jump is not taken. So as I showed you in that previous tutorial, I'll do it again for you to see. So when I double click, now you see so the jump is not taken, so which means this has changed to gray color, and you can move across using the Alt F8 or step over function here or instruction here to move through the codes. So now to patch a program, we are going to use what we call the NOP instruction. That is what I'm going to show you. So the NOP stands for no operational instruction. And where are we going to set the no operational instruction? All we need to do is when we click here, okay, where we set the breakpoint, okay, make sure our cursor is right here. Then all you need to do is just double click on it or hit the space bar on your keyboard. Okay, either you double click or hit the space bar on your keyboard so that we're able to modify it for it to be patched. So that is probably one way to patch a software or an application. So just hit here, just hit the space bar. Let's restart the program and let's see what happens. Let me close this. It will not close, but let me restart it here. It will close and come back. Perfect. So now we are in the operating system, and what we need to do is restart the program and move straight to the user code. 1, 2, 3 in the entry point. Let's move to the user code. Run now. This is where we created our breakpoint, and now you see it's changed back to 1. So you see it's not what permanent, it's kind of temporary, which is not what we want. So what we want to do now is to patch the program using the NOP instruction. So as I told you, all you need to do is you can double click on this. Perfect. And you could see assemble at this address, which means the operation should take effect at this address exactly. So what we're going to do now is to just make sure this is checked, fill with NOP. Check this box, then delete all and just write NOP. Okay, NOP, that is all. So it's the instruction encoded successfully. Perfect. So NOP, no operation instruction. So this is all what you need to do, and you check this box. And now when you click on OK, it replaces the jump with NOP, which means this code or this program has been patched and it's going to run without doing what always coming to modify the 0 flag and a whole lot of stuff. So just click on OK. Click on OK. it's trying to go through all the other ones, but we don't need, because it's just displaying all we need was the jump side, which was the other NOP. So we are done with that. We can cancel it or close it. That was what we needed, because this is where we wanted to change. The other ones we don't need it, because this was where the instruction was taking place, and you could see it's replaced by 2 NOP, which means it took a byte. It was using 2 bytes of the memory address, and now it's using 4 as it was being used here. You see the first address was 4, which means we're using 4 bytes. So now it's separated it into 2 bytes each. Okay, so what we need to do now is, we don't need to bother by always changing the 0 flags to, because if the jump, where the jump is to take place, we've already modified to an NOP, which means now we can save this file as a patch file, because it's all what we needed to do with NOP instruction, so that when it gets there, it doesn't jump to print out this method. It can follow along and call that flag here, which was the instruction we displayed earlier on in the video. Okay, so to do that, you just go to file and click on patch file. Okay, so when you hit on patch file, you see those instructions which was modified, okay, which was that 2 bytes is already here. So all you need to do is to click patch file here, then it will tell you where to save it. So we will save it in that folder. You click here and just separate this by a patch. Just use hyphenated and just type patch. Patched. Okay, then click on save. It's a 2 out of 2 patch applied. Okay, that is all. Now when you go into our folder here and click here, we have our patch file being saved. So now we can close this. See, we still have NOP. Okay, we can close this. Save this. Let's save it and exit. Okay, so closing the debugger. So now all we need to do is to run this, our patch file. Okay, so when we just drag the patch file into this, see what happens when we get to okay, let's hit on yes. Yes, you want it to run. How did they close our application? Let's run it again. Okay, yes, now our patch file is running. Now when we run to the user code, okay, let's go to where. Now you could see the program what just ran and terminated. We are trying to go to our user or is the name our user code, okay, where we set up the breakpoint to modify into NOP. Okay, we are trying to go there, but there you see immediately the program ran and it quitted, it terminated. It didn't show you, so you could see down here it said terminated. So the problem here was that we didn't set any breakpoint to this code. It brought up all this problem. So to do that, all we need to do is to set a breakpoint in the code. After the NOP instruction, we want the code to break so that it will display the information for us. So how do you do that? So you just need to run the application again. Close this. Perfect. Let's run the patch again. give us a whole lot of errors, but you solve it. Okay, let's open it. You say what? Okay, perfect. So to close and restart again. Perfect. Because it's going through a whole lot of process first. Because now we've patched the file, so when we click on the run to our user code and to our entry point, and we scroll down to where we made that change, which was here. You see down the NOP is here. There's no jump, it's NOP because the program is what being patched. We are running from the patch, not the previous file. Now, you see when you get there, it doesn't move. So we need to set a breakpoint so that when this thing runs, it will be able to display what our code for us. So we'll set our breakpoint at where it leaves. Okay, so because when this thing leaves, it leaves, and that is all. So you can see after leave there's a return, which means when it goes through all these instructions, it returns back to where it came from. But now we've modified it. We want it to live here so that this will just stay on the screen without being quit or being quitted. Okay, so you can set the breakpoint at any of here, but I want to set the breakpoint at where the leave is, so that when this program, after running this instruction, which is the NOP we set, it print out this and it doesn't quit like first it terminated. It just leave on the screen and print out what our serial key for us. Okay, so the best thing is to double click here, and now it's our breakpoint. So when you restart the program, see what happens. First we go through, we run to the user code, we run to the entry point, then we run to where we set our breakpoint. See the breakpoint came, and now we had our hot serial key printed and the program didn't quit. Okay, so that is how we use breakpoint. And now when you go up, this is our NOP instruction. So now instead of it to jump to this place and print out the try hard file, we modify it and it was able to print out the serial key which was hidden behind this application, and we were able to print out the security phrase. And after that, it didn't quit the program, it lived because we set a breakpoint that, hey, if you print out the serial key, just break for us to see what the serial key is. So that is perfectly and the good way to patch a command line program. It's also used the same method you use in the graphical user interface. So this is just how programs are being patched, and I hope you've enjoyed this first tutorial on the patching. And the second tutorial, I'm going to show you how to patch with different methods too. Okay, so enjoy your day, have a good day.